Good morning or good afternoon or whenever you're watching this. I'm so glad that you're here. My name is Kimberly McAlinden and this is Knit a Rainbow. Do, 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 do. When you come in, please say hello in the chat. I would love to see who's here. Please ask any questions if you have any questions. So today, it is Thursday. It is August 24th. Can you believe next week is September? What the heck? I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. I'm so excited because tonight, August 24th, hi, Steph. I am starting the workshop. And there's the In Bloom sweater. So the In Bloom workshop starts tonight. It is not too late to sign up if you want. And the signups are actually in the description box right now because I was proactive. Good morning, Susie. It's nice to see you. Stephanie and Susie. So it's been a busy week for me. I don't know if you could see the title. I've been starting everything and finishing nothing. So today we're going to talk about starting. We're also going to talk about what it's like for me as a knitting professional. I get a lot of questions on Instagram and that kind of stuff. I get a lot of questions like, how do you schedule your day? How does it look to be a professional in the knitting industry? Good morning, everybody. It's nice to see you, Gail. It's nice to see you, Caleb. Lots of kisses. It is actually like pretty overcast today. We're supposed to get some rain today and tomorrow. So you all are being my sunshine today. I'm so excited. So what did I start? So I've started a test knit for Jamie Hoffman, and I'm using the most beautiful yarn. It's Sugar Plum Circus. It is her DK. I'm using her DK weight because the test knit is for it's for fingering and mohair held together. And I can't show much and I can't talk a lot about it because it is a secret. But I can say that it is bottom up knitting, which I absolutely love. You know, top down is awesome because you can try on as you go. You can make lots of changes on the fly, which I talk about in my workshop. But because this is top down. But when you're working bottom up, I don't know, it just makes the stitches look a little bit different, because it's just, I don't know. I like to change things up a bit. So I'm going to show you the color. I was actually at the beach when I started this, so I didn't have my Swift, and I had to wind it into a ball. So here is the beautiful yarn. It's called Dianthus, and it is it's Sugar Plum Circus, and it is her DK weight. So you always, when you're doing a test knit, you want to get permission from the designer if you can change the type of yarn that's used. A lot of times, designers will say you absolutely can use what you want as long as you get gauge. But some designers, they really want you to use, if in the case of a fingering and a mohair, they want you to use a fingering and a mohair. But fingering and mohair make DK weight yarn. So it was okay. Look at how beautiful this is. It just is. And of course, it's my color, which I've been wearing blues lately. I was looking back, I was making the thumbnail for this, and I'm wearing a lot of blues. Hi, Debbie. Yeah, this color is absolutely beautiful. So what I did was I've worked the bottom to where I can stick it onto my machine and knit the stockinette part. And that is why I am able to design and also test knit at the same time. So I don't always put stuff on my machine, but if I need to, I do. Well, hello, Deb. This is one of our colors, isn't it, girly? I know. Wait, my whole background, Deb should be sitting here. Deb is like the pink princess. She's so pretty. But yeah, this is going to look beautiful. And this is going to come out, I think, in October. So it's kind of like, it reminded me of what I would want to wear in the holidays, for the holidays. So I'm just going to show you just a little sneak peek. It's all crumpled up. Now, the reason why you see this barber cord is that when you're knitting in the round, which is what I was doing, and I'm going to put it on my machine. And for those of you that don't know what machine I use the LK 150 flatbed knitting machine. And it says it's a flatbed, which means you can only work flat pieces on it. So on that bed, I've divided the front and the back. So one I've put on a barber cord, the back or the front. Right now, it doesn't really matter. And the other one is still left on the needles. So that reminds me, do you guys have like a preferred needle? My preferred needle size, I love to knit on sizes 3, 4, and 5. When I was knitting, I guess in the early 2000s, everything was like on giant needles, right? So it was quick knitting, lots of yarns, excuse me, lots of yarns held together, and it was on large needles. But I find that I don't want all that. I like the quick movement in my lap of smaller needles. So this is a DK weight yarn on size 4 needles. And as we know, that's chef kiss. It's just a perfect match made in heaven, and I'm absolutely loving it. So I will do the stockinette portion, the front and the back on my machine, and then I will do, the top, because then you're going to split it back and forth, right? So when we're knitting bottom up and you want to knit things in the round, the only place you can go in the round is to under your arms, right? Like, you can only have that tube up to your arms, and then you're going to be working back and forth. So I'm not going to lose anything. Oh, Steph says 5 and 6 are her preferred sizes. And Tracy likes 7 and 8. 8 is like the largest I'll go to now, although I'm just about to work 4 weeks on a size like 10 and a half. But this knits up very quickly because it is on a 10 and a half. So, hi, Joyce. You're working but listening. It's nice to see you. So, when I do the back and the front in the stockinette, and then I'll stop, and then I will work I'll probably just work the back though on my machine, work the front because there's some pretty stuff in the front, and then join at the shoulders, and then the sleeves are knit in the round down. So that's kind of like a combination knit. And I love to do those types of knits. I designed the Sherwood sweater is a combination knit like that, where you're going to knit in the round up to the armholes. Then you're going to knit the back, knit the front, then you're going to join at the sleeves, and then you're going to pick up stitches around the armhole and you knit down. And being in the Test-Knit group, since Jamie writes like 20 sizes, so it's quite an impressive group of test knitters in this group. And it's interesting to see that people don't like to pick up stitches. There was a huge cast-on number. My cast-on number was 560 because you're knitting bottom up, and it would just. And I guess I think to myself, if I want to knit, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, right? Like I don't have a preference over anything. I like knitting back and forth. I like knitting in the round. I like casting on. I like binding off. I like picking up stitches. I love every part of knitting. And I think that's why I'm so lucky that I get to do this job, because every part of it's fun. Going to a yarn shop, usually having lunch with my Yarny girl, Helen. I love to, I love to go and sit and knit. I just love everything about it. So it's fun for me to read what people write, when they're in a test. And I run tests. I actually am running a test right now. And it's funny what people say. They're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to cast on all these stitches, or it took me forever. But I feel like I love doing it. I'm doing what I love. And I'll tell you, casting on 560 stitches in a special cast on, which looks beautiful, by the way. And I had to I had just dropped Marin off at school. So Marin went back to college. We drove down to Blacksburg on Friday and we stayed overnight. And then Saturday we moved her in, and which I broke my nail like way down. So that's going to be fun. And so, I did that. And then I came home late Saturday night. I got home around midnight. And then Sunday I started this test knit, and I had to take it out like 6 times. And I think my brain was just sad and tired. And, I just needed, I had to look at my cup. All right. So I'm talking about something a little sad for me. Look at this happy cup. My friend Marlena, who is, I met her knitting. She came to Cake Palooza last year and she brought me this mug, and it is my absolutely favorite mug to drink out of when I drink my coffee. And I'm only on my second coffee today. I've been very, very busy. Well, hello, Skein Cocaine. Gina's here. Gina lives in right by where my daughter is. So it's so cool. We're gonna have to get together one of these times when I'm down there, when it's not like a 18-hour turnaround time. It took 8.5 hours to get there and 8 hours to get home. Ugh. 16 hours driving and a half is disgusting. So anyway, isn't this a super happy cup? I'm going to take a sip now since I'm holding it up. All right. Deb drops hers the next 2 weekends, but happy they're happy. I'm so happy she's happy. She's living in the most beautiful apartment. I mean, it's like decorated nicer than my first house was. It's absolutely beautiful. And the Blacksburg area in Virginia is so beautiful. She goes to Virginia Tech. Time flies 54 fast. That was one of my favorite colors. It was my wedding color 47 years ago. Congratulations. I have a flower bed that is I don't know how to pronounce that flower. Oh, thank you. So we're talking about this color. Yeah, this is a gorgeous color. Actually, this was the color of my sister's bridesmaids dresses. I had just graduated college. And of course, it was 1992. And she had it was like huge shoulder pads, and she had it was a huge thing of lace over this. Think gunny sacks, but pretty. Okay, so you're 47 years. I am 27 years this year, married in October. So exciting. Okay, so I started that. Then I started the test knit for my new thing that's coming out. My new thing. Let me show it to you. I got it here. Hang on. So here is the first sample. It is a no-name sweater yet. It'll be ready for Rhinebeck. It is made out of the yarn, which I don't have. I'm not prepared. I'm sorry, friends, but I've talked about it a million times and on Instagram. But it is from Primrose. I think it's Forge, and this color is oh wait, I have it. I'm better than I thought. So this is Forage, not Forge. It's Forage. And this color is called Dark Room. It's so beautiful. And then this is her Homestead Sport. So this is a worsted weight. It goes by very, very quickly. The test knit is going to start on Friday, Friday. And so I started it again, because I'm going to do some fun stuff on this one. And then I wanted one that was going to be plain or look plain. And so I started it again in Forage in the color. See, white gets a little blown out. I'm going to hold it back here. This is called Linen. And then this is the top. Oh, doesn't it look pretty? I love me some slip stitches, friends. So this is the top. It is a top-down knit. And so I like to start the top again with my test knitters because, hey, I love to knit. And I can do the yoke and then stick everything else on my machine and have it done. But what it does for me is it allows me to see how the flow of the pattern is before I send it to everybody else. So I finished this part that I needed to, and then I started this, and again, at the beach, so I didn't have my yarn in my Swift, so I had to wind it by hand, which was actually kind of soothing and fun. A little warm, but So here is the start of that one. I'm so excited to make another one, and I can see myself wearing these all the time this winter, which is coming up. So what else? I've been working on the workshop. So my workshops, they used to be called knit-alongs, but they're not really a knit-along because you are knitting along with other people, but it's more of a class. So basically what we do is we pick a design. This time it was the In Bloom sweater, and I talk about how to that has a folded over hem. So I do a technique video on how to do that. I also go over it live on the 4 Zooms. The Zooms are from 7 to 8:30, and everything is recorded and put in your portal, which is part of the new website that I have. It's still knitarainbow.com, but I have gone through a teaching website. So it's really cool. There's a portal there with all your information. And so when would the link for the for the Zoom for the Krista, the link was sent out yesterday, so check your folder, and it's also in the Facebook group, the private Facebook group. So go ahead and look for there. But there was an email sent out yesterday that had all of the information. Yay. And if you haven't been approved into the Facebook group yet, that's because I haven't looked at it in the last hour or so. So you might want to go ahead and do that. But please send me a private message if you haven't received it. Also, so I've been working on that. I've been working on, the step outs, they're called, if we're going to talk about that. It's called the step outs, and it's just really fun. There's 22 people here. Thank you all for joining me this morning. You didn't receive it. You might want to check your spam folder, or please send me a private message and I will send one out to you. I'll just send one out to you. Now there's 21 people here. If you could all take the time and give this video a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. Makes me feel good coming on here every week and talking about knitting to just show me that you love it. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was my day in the life of being a knitwear professional. So usually what happens is, hi, Crafty Erin. It's nice to see you. I'm glad you caught me live. So how my day goes. My day is starts early, and I am up earlier than anybody else in the house. And the reason for that is I like it quiet. I like to have my first cup of coffee nice and quiet. And what I do is I usually knit. I knit something that I haven't been knitting before. I would probably, if there wasn't an issue with the pattern, which is what I found yesterday, then I would have knit a couple rounds on this while I was drinking my coffee. And I'm going to admit something. I have an obsession, and it is a true obsession, of watching YouTube, of watching people, of watching police like their police cameras. And specifically, I'm fascinated by watching people get pulled over for driving under the influence. I don't know why I find it soothing, but I do. So if you have a weird thing like that and you want to share it, put it in the group. But I love watching it. So usually, and sometimes they're like 20, 30 minutes, because you like see the police approach and then you watch them, do the things. And that's what I do. You watch them do all the tests, and I've watched so many that I'm like, gonna get arrested. But usually, and I'm just gonna say this for everybody, if they ask you to step out of the car, they've smelled enough alcohol in the car and you're getting arrested, unless you're the designated driver. You need a link for it? Just, I'm telling you, Code Blue Cam is my favorite. And they're in like Wisconsin. So a lot of times it's like snowy and I'll be dripping wet with sweat with, tons of wool on my lap and I'm watching like police in the snow. And I'm also a huge fan of like true crime documentaries and things like that. So I'll usually start my morning off really nice and light with someone getting arrested or some true crime unsolved mystery, something like that. Thank you for the thumbs up, friends. And you used to watch that with your dad, Erin? Aw. So that's how my day starts. Then my husband is retired and he starts his day in the bedroom. So he'll, do play his Wordle and all of that, crossword puzzle stuff. And he'll do that. And he usually comes down between 9 and 10. So when he comes down, we usually have a conversation. We talk about what's going on with our day, what I'd like for dinner. Yes, I am a lucky lass. And then I go upstairs, I'll shower if that's happening that day, and then I will come up into my studio. In my studio, I will create and send out emails. I will do this, do some filming for stuff. I will film some technique videos that I have to do, but a lot of it is admin, right? So I'll be writing patterns, going over the patterns, but then like let's say I have a test coming up. I have to set up a test group. First I have to do a Google document. So what I think a lot of people don't understand is yes, there is a lot of knitting and yes, I get to knit for my job, but there's so much admin work and stuff that I wasn't ready to have to do, like create a Google form and then find the responses on the Google form. And all my kids are in college or away, grown up and living their life. So I didn't have anybody. So I've been looking on YouTube and doing things like that. So it does take me a little bit longer, but I'm getting the hang of it. So there is so much admin to do. Then I create a group, then we talk in the group, then I have to email everybody. And it is, Debbie says I need a secretary. And if I could afford it, I would actually get an admin assistant, but I don't have that yet, but who's to say that's not going to happen? So then I will usually work until 4 or 5, sometimes 7. It depends on how much stuff I have to get done. And then I'll go downstairs, have dinner that my husband has prepared, which I'm so lucky. And then I'll knit for the rest of the night. So I'll knit on things that I have to do. So that happens about 3 times a week, that schedule. Then other times I'm working on a deadline to get something done, or I'm living my life and doing fun things. And I can knit, when I'm on the beach, or I know, terrible, but I can knit, in the house. I can work on that kind of stuff. But my head is always thinking, how can I get as much hand knitting done before I can stick it on my knitting machine so that I can get it finished? And I don't try to rush things, but I do try to get a sweater done in under 8 days. And the way that I do that is if it's a top down sweater, I will knit the yoke. That usually takes me 2 to 3 days, depending on the weight of the yarn. And then I'll put the bottom on my knitting machine. That takes an hour. Then I will seam it up and do any kind of ribbing on the bottom. And then I'll either hand knit, and then I usually hand knit the sleeves, because it's kind of half and half with the knitting. And I usually get a sweater done in about 8 days. So do I experience burnout? I do. When I experience burnout, you know what I do? I find something fun to knit. There's a knit along going, or a mystery, an MCAL mystery knit along going on with Casapinka right now that I deep dove into it. And last week I forgot to show you what I had finished, but I brought it up today. I'm using Miss Babs yarn, and it was the yarn when I was scrolling through Instagram that I saw on Skein Yarn Shop that I thought, I absolutely have to do this. And it's turned out to be a wonderful thing to do when you want to have fun, when you're working, when your fun thing is your job, right? So anybody that's doing the Casapinka MCAL right now, avert your eyes, because I have finished up to clue 4. They actually took a week off. After clue 4, they take a week off so that everybody can catch up if you'd like to catch up. And so I had finished it last week for everybody, but I forgot to bring it up into my studio. My studio is in my attic. So for those of you that are you know, watchers of me every week, you'll notice last week it was fast. It was a it was a fast podcast because I was sweating. And when I kind of like I was making other things, I did an Instagram story where I was telling everybody, "Oh, go watch my YouTube from last week." And I have to blow it up, right? Because this is done this way and Instagram is this way. So you blow it up and you can actually see the sweat on my top lip. It's sexy. Go check it out last week if you missed it. That's episode 38. All right. Gail's husband cooks too. That's the best. And Erin says she wished your grandma didn't get rid of her knitting machine. Oh, drat. I know. Okay. So avert your eyes. I'm going to show you my my knitting so far. So it started, this was clue 1 and it went this way. So it was, this is color A, B, C, and D. So that was done. Then you picked up stitches along the side and you started knitting this way. This was the next clue. That was clue 2. And clue 3 was in 2 parts because it was really large. So this was clue 3. And clue 4 was picking up stitches along the side on the top, or I don't know if it's the top or the bottom. We still have no idea how this shawl is going to look, but picking up the stitches on the top and the bottom and knitting some garter stitch. It's been so much fun. I really look forward to it. Oh, you guys, thank you. I really look forward to doing it. It's been an absolute blast. The yarn is delicious. And look how pretty it looks. Aren't these colors pretty? I'm loving them. I never used to knit with purples. And now I'm knitting with a lot of purple, but it's so much fun. Your colors. Miss Babs yarn is the best. Yeah. I mean, everybody, I remember. So last year was my first year at Rhinebeck. Anybody going? Let me know. Is that the 3-ply? This is her. Let me check for you if I have it here. I think it's her 2. I think it's the sock. Let me check the plies. Do you guys know how to check the plies? So you take your yarn, right? And it's twisted up in a certain way. And you're simply going to untwist it. So I'm going to untwist it and see how many plies there are. Let's do it off camera. Here we go. So I untwisted it and there are 2 plies. So this is her 2-ply sock. Yeah, Joyce is going to be at Rhinebeck. Deb is going to be at Rhinebeck. And oh, Cake Palooza, which I'm a vendor at Cake Palooza, friends. So if any of you haven't gotten tickets yet, if you go to cakewool.com, Cake Palooza, I'm a vendor. You'll see me there. I'm going to be measuring people that need to be measured. If you don't know what size sweaters to make. So that's okay. So that's that. Gail is going to be at Rhinebeck. Tracy, no Rhinebeck this year, new baby. Well, Tracy, thank goodness we're going to have another baby to look at. Tracy Hennick's grandchildren are so incredibly beautiful. I can't wait to see more baby pictures. They make me smile. So I'm sad I won't see you, but we do live in the same state. It's a shame we don't see each other more often. But at Cake Wool, which is the Friday before Rhinebeck, and it's in Saugerties, which is right over the bridge. And I will be a vendor there with lots of other vendors. Chelsea Yarns is there. Forever Yarn from Doylestown is there. Dolphina is there from Canada. Vita Lifestyle is there. There's and so I go there. I actually sell some samples. I also am going to have some crafts there this year, and I'm going to be there to measure you and answer any kind of fit questions that you have about sweaters. I'll of course also have patterns for sale there if that's, what people want, but I didn't find people had a lot, but I will have samples there that you can try on if you want. And then the cover sheet of my patterns, which tells you what kind of yarn, how much yarn you need, the gauge, and all that stuff with a code on there. So you can purchase it from me, take the code, and then it'll go right in your Ravelry. Fashion School Dropout, my girl Kelly. Thank you, Tracy. So that's going to be so much fun. That's coming up. October is right around the corner. I can't believe it. September is also a special month for me because it's my birthday month. And so I absolutely love it. My birthday is the first day of fall, and it's also the end of Virgo. So I'm a cusp Virgo. I don't know why I went into that. I don't know why I went into that, but there we go. Are you all on my mailing list? If you are, you will see lots of stuff that I'm doing. I usually send out an email every couple weeks. It's been weekly because I was promoting the workshop. But if you go in the description box, you can see that there is a link where you will get the Emily hat for free. So if you already belong to my mailing list, you absolutely can do it again and download the free pattern. So it is a for pay pattern. It will continue to be a for pay pattern if you purchase it on Ravelry. But if you go and sign up for my mailing list as a gift, I give you this. There you go. Joyce, you're a Virgo. Yay. That's why I always wear sapphires. Sapphires are my favorite. It's the birthstone of September. All right, Rhinebeck. So this is my second year at Rhinebeck, and last year I was so overwhelmed. I just did what I had to do, and I got out of there. I also was exhausted from Cake Palooza, but this year I'm coming and I'm ready, and I'm staying till Sunday because Sunday is going to be my day that I get to walk around. When I do Cake Palooza on Friday, on Saturday morning I will be with Tabitha of Long Island Yarn and Farm until about 10:30, 11. And then I'm going over to Primrose and I will be hanging out with Kelsey and Olga and lots of other, amazing people. So I'm so honored to be asked to go into those booths, and I'm just so excited. Sundays are much more calm, Erin has found. Yeah, I've heard that as well. And so I'm looking forward to going on the calm day and then going home and sleeping for 5 days. I don't know. I don't know if that'll happen. I'm so excited with all this. Actually, I think, oh no, it's in October. Yeah. Okay. So what else do I have for you? I don't think I have anything else. Speaking of Fashion School Dropout, I am going to be doing the In Bloom. I'm going to be doing it. I'm so excited. So the In Bloom is done with 2 strands of mohair held together on a large needle. So it gives you this like wispy, airy, feather kind of thing. But I'm going to do mine in Fashion School Dropout in her boucle. This is Peace Train. I'm not going to get the right color, but I'm going to try. Yeah, I can't get the right color. Oh, it's so, Sorry. It's so pretty, but gauge. Gauge is the important thing, friends. Gauge, gaugety gauge. If I can get gauge with this, I can knit that with the yarn specs. Look, I'm already getting ready for tonight. But see, it's a light purple pink with, it has like all the beautiful speckles in it. So I'm going to be making a pullover version with this, and I can't stinking wait. I can't wait to get started. So that's Fashion School Dropout. Hi, Joyce. Well, yarn motivated. Second, you're working and lurking too. You're a Virgo 9-1. Happy birthday next week, Joyce. Oh, that's exciting. So next week on Thursday, when I'm podcasting, it'll be your birthday. Kathy was planning on going to Rhinebeck this year for the first time, but God had other plans. Now you'll be praying. Praying you can get well to get there someday. I hope that happens for you too, Kathy. Joy, the other Joyce is saying hi to Joyce. You didn't get fluffies. Didn't get fluffies. I don't know what that is, but I hope you get it if that's what you want. So that's pretty much it for me. We're coming up on 36 minutes. If you enjoy having time, spending a little bit of time with me, if you could hit the thumbs up button, I would really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, because then you'll get notices every time that I go live. In the summer, this 11:30 time seems to be working well for me in my hot attic. And so it's going to be this time, I guess, going forward. I'm going to try and do it a little close to maybe 12:30 once the winter comes and it's a little bit cooler up in my attic. It gets a little hot up here. So I wanted to, oh, y'all in the comments, in the chat are so nice. I just love being in this community. So if you have any questions, please send a comment. I answer every single comment that comes through. I love seeing what you have to say. And if you need anything, let me know. I'll be doing the workshop for these next couple weeks, but I will be here next week at 11:30. And I can't wait to see you then. Until then, I hope you're enjoying your knitting. I hope you're enjoying your life. And if you're not, try to find something that makes you happy. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Take care.